Knicks fans, what's up? New week, new video. You know what it is. It's your boy Ruben. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and everything. Appreciate the support. Wanted to voice my 2 cents because the last video was just talking about our pursuit of Jalen Brunson, and now we've already done it. And right now, reports are saying it's around 104 million over 4 years. So, with that being said, congrats to the Knicks. I'm in the camp that's kind of happy to see Jalen Brunson. As I've stated before, you're kind of in one of three camps. One was the people that are happy to have Jalen Brunson. Two is the people that are thinking that we overpaid. And three is the people that are mad that we got Jalen Brunson and didn't make the move for DeJounte Murray. And in case I haven't made my feelings on DeJounte Murray clear, I never understood the hype around DeJounte Murray. He's a very good player, don't get me wrong, but he's a non-shooter, and some of his stats are empty stats. The Spurs didn't make the playoffs. I know what you're going to say. The Spurs weren't the greatest team, but Spurs has some talent on that team with Lonnie Walker and arguably one of the greatest coaches of this time, of this kind of generation, in Greg Popovich. And I'm not trying to poo-poo DeJounte Murray too much. It's just that I wonder if any of y'all have actually watched him play or you just read the stats. He's a very active player, very good defender. He has improved every year. So, I understand the thinking of, getting a young all-star guard, and we've needed a point guard for quite some time. They can do some of the things he does. But a big reason why the Spurs are moving on is I've watched several DeJounte Murray games and Spurs games. And a couple of things that will worry me if we were to bring him here as our lead guard would be, he's not exactly the floor general type. A lot of his assists come sort of like Russell Westbrook assists. Like, it's attacking the basket, he's just kind of kicking to whoever's trailing or whatever. They're not kind of the CP3 passes where he's creating the offense and playmaking in that way. So I just want you to take, his assist numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt. And the reason, and you could say, well, assists are assists. I get what you're saying, but ultimately, I think what I never fell in love with DeJounte Murray about is when I watch him, I think he's awful in the fourth quarter, and I think it drove Greg Popovich crazy. He can't shoot. Some of his decisions in the fourth are just not good. Several times I've seen where, you're kind of going tit for tat in that minute and a half, 2 minute offense, and you should be kind of taking advantage of the shot clock. Too many times I've seen him take too many bad shots or make bad decisions and not taking full advantage of the shot clock. Just little things like that. I do question maybe his basketball IQ, and you can't attribute that to him being young, but that's just me. I don't personally want a non-shooter on this team, not as presently constructed. When especially you were talking about pairing him with Jalen Brunson, I'm not sure how that will work. You got two ball dominant kind of guys, and Brunson can play off, but then where does that put, Julius Randle? Where does that put RJ Barrett and all these guys we want to see grow? Some of the mission this offseason was actually to offload some of these contracts, not just because the number of the contract, but to clear room for some of these young guys that we clearly saw need room to grow, need the ball. Not necessarily need the ball like as in ball dominant, but they just need more minutes. And that was why you kind of saw Burks get the axe and Noel, because Burks, to me and a lot of Knicks fans, we grew to love Alec Burks. Of all the guys that we could have got rid of, he was one of the guys I would have loved to have kept. But I understand why we had to make the move. And Evan Fournier is going to be a little bit harder to move. But now that we've signed Hartenstein and Mitch, that I don't see the reason to go ahead and move Evan Fournier at this point, because the big thing with Evan Fournier is he has value. He's a good shooter, good offensive player, our best shooter on the team. The problem that Knicks fans tend to have with him isn't necessarily with him on the floor, with the exception of, we don't love his defense. We don't love his contract. So if we're not going to make a major move, I'd rather keep Evan Fournier. So I don't know, why the talk about, maybe the sign and trade with Dallas or maybe moving him, period, would come from, because I'm not sure what they would get back that's in equal value. I do want to see more minutes come to Cam Reddish, but with Burks and Noel being moved, I think, you're going to see some more of those rotations. The main guy, even if the main guy I really want to see moved is Julius Randle. and it's for obvious reasons. I just don't think he fits what the team's trying to do anymore. Now, to the man of the hour, Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson, unfortunately, we're going to keep Julius Randle. I think Jalen Brunson is going to help Julius Randle immensely. I think Julius Randle is going to be able to not be focused on as much because Brunson can score, he can play make, he can make sure guys are in the right spot, which is the issue that we had, and it was really evident when we lost Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose isn't even that great a playmaker. He's gotten better as he's gotten older, but you can attribute, our fourth seed entry to the playoffs a couple years ago and look at when we made the Derrick Rose trade, how much that team took off and how much better it was for Julius Randle because teams couldn't just focus on him initially, that is. And then they kind of got hip to it. And you saw what happened, and then he had the down year. A lot of that can be attributed to, he was forced, or he felt like he was forced to do too much. Tom Thibodeau didn't trust the youngins to do what they needed to do, and Julius Randle tried to do too much. And hopefully Jalen Brunson can settle us down, especially in those key spots in the fourth quarter, because we had so many leads going into the fourth or in the fourth that we gave up. And I really think this team is a lot better talent-wise than a lot of people give credit for. Now, a lot of us are bashing the team because we haven't made the major move, to trade for a big name or anything like that. I like what they're doing, and I think a lot of it is attributed to because other teams don't value our players the way we do. I look at our team, and the Knicks fans look at our team, and we see the talent in R.J. Barrett, and we're thinking he's going to improve. We see Emmanuel quickly, and how he improved at the end of last year, and we want to see more of it, and we think the world of him. We saw when Obi Toppin got starter minutes how he looked at the end of the season. The problem is the rest of the NBA doesn't care or didn't see it or can attribute their value to there wasn't enough of it. So I don't think it's good business to sell low on those guys. So I think the smart play, if we do make a move, guys, is going to probably be at the trade deadline in hopes of boosting some of these guys' value. Hopefully Julius Randle can boost his value because I really think once we're able to get off the Julius Randle contract, it opens up a world of possibilities for us because Obi Toppin will slide in, Cam Reddish will get more minutes. I think by default we become a faster team, and I think that's what holds us up. How many times did you guys see the first unit and we were just so slow in the first unit, but you will see quickly Burks, Rose, Obi Toppin come in and you will see they'll bring us back in the game or whatever it is. And it's because of the contrast and speed and the way we're able to score. And that second unit is just so much more superior offensive threat than the first unit. So those are things to keep in mind. I really liked what Jalen Brunson did in the playoffs. I really think getting a kid at that age, and I know, he's not young like R.J. Barrett, but he's only 25. But getting a point guard that, like DeJounte Murray, has improved every single year. You saw him play next to a Luka Doncic. Meaning, he doesn't have to have the ball. He knows how to play off the ball. He knows how to score in the paint. He can hit the mid-range. He can hit the three, and he's able to create, and he's deadly in pick and roll. So the only thing is a little on the small side. So, defensively, you're going to have, some defensive liabilities in just his size alone. But he's a little dog. He's not going to be a complete turnstile on defense. I love everything about Jalen Brunson. He represents exactly what New York Knicks basketball is, and it's a tough, gritty style. And I think Knicks fans are gonna, he's gonna become a Knicks favorite for many years to come if we end up obviously keeping him in whatever blockbuster move there is to be made. You saw Rudy Gobert got flipped for. I don't even understand why he got flipped for so much. He got flipped basically for 4 first-round picks and like 5 players. I don't think he's worth it, but I don't really see what Minnesota, why they felt that was the move they needed to make. I think it's an interesting one. I think Minnesota's, they're going to be pretty big. They're going to really control the boards. They're going to get nothing inside, but I'm not sure in the long run how that's going to work out for them. But then you got the Donovan Mitchell shoe that we're all waiting to see drop. I'd love to see him in New York, but I don't want to give up half the team. And that's where I stand with that. I love me some Donovan Mitchell. I just don't, with Danny Ainge running that offense, you saw what he got for Rudy Gobert. I'm not sure I'm willing to give up what it's going to take for him. The other domino out there is KD requested that trade, and it's got the NBA, I think, in a holding pattern. The only teams out there with cap room is Orlando and the Pacers right now. So, we'll see what happens with that. I think it's going to be a situation that also might wait till the trade deadline, because I honestly can't really see the greatest move, especially if it's true that they want to be traded together, him and Kyrie. I don't know what to make of that. I hope it's not true. I'm going to lose all respect for KD if that is true, but I definitely don't see a scenario where they traded together. Aside from maybe if they go to OKC, and that's an interesting thing that I'm not hearing nobody talk about. OKC has the young pieces. They have draft picks galore. Could KD make a return to Oklahoma City with Kyrie? What problem with that is I'm not sure they have enough around them after the trade's done to really consider themselves a contender, especially in the West. It's going to be real deep this year with the Clippers, the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, the Nuggets returning their, people, Dame Lillard coming back. I mean, it's going to be a wild, wild West. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all feeling the Jalen Brunson signing? I love it. And I just want y'all to understand that if you can't get a superstar and it's going to cost you half your team, then you got to keep building the team. I'm not sure what y'all wanted us to do. We weren't going to stay stagnant. You got to keep building the team. Eventually, you're going to build enough equity and talent that when you do make the move, it's not going to completely deplete your team. And that's just my thinking. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments. And I'll look forward to hearing back from y'all. Remember to like, share, and comment, all right? Subscribe, excuse me. Peace.